If you run an HVAC business, you've probably run into a situation like this. You pay a bunch of money for an answering service, and they're supposed to dispatch one of your techs when there's an emergency. They end up reaching out to that tech when it's someone who's not even in your service area or someone whose unit you've never serviced before. It doesn't make sense for your tech to be going out there at 2 in the morning to take a look at it. Situations like this are one of the reasons that a lot of HVAC companies are switching to have AI handle their calls. It's cheaper and more reliable because when you set up an AI receptionist, it's answering calls just for your specific business. It's not someone in a call center who's answering for dozens of businesses at once and getting your business mixed up with someone else's. In this video, we're going to show you how to set up an AI receptionist for your HVAC business. We're going to do it with UpFirst, which is a really easy to use platform. But we're going to cover concepts that we've learned from working with hundreds of HVAC businesses. Even if you decide to go with a different platform, you'll learn some concepts that you can carry over. Okay, first things first. Click on Agent and pick a voice for your receptionist. Then decide what you want it to say when it answers the phone. If you're using your receptionist only for after-hours calls, we'd recommend putting that into the greeting. For example, thank you for reaching All Pro Heating and Cooling. You've reached our after-hours receptionist. Is this an emergency? If you're using this for overflow and not just emergencies, you can adjust the greeting. For example, you could have it end with, "How can I help you?" The reason we like to put "Is this an emergency?" right at the beginning of the greeting is because callers who are stressed out and have an emergency are immediately aware that this receptionist can handle it. And we're just telling you what we see work for other HVAC companies. Next, click on Knowledge. This is where you give the receptionist instructions for various scenarios. For example, you could add a scenario for emergencies, then just type out the instructions in plain English. If the caller confirms this is an emergency, then ask the following questions. And then beneath that, we have a bulleted list of the info we need to collect from those callers. Then we tell the receptionist what to say if we have serviced the unit they're experiencing problems with, which is that we will alert a technician and call them back shortly. And then we have instructions for what to say if we have not serviced the unit, which is that we only provide emergency service for current customers. Then add a knowledge base entry for what to do if it's not an emergency. Same thing here. Just list out the information that you want to collect from the caller. Now, here's a really cool thing about UpFirst. It actually has memory. If a caller shares their address, then the next time they call in, the receptionist doesn't need to ask for the address again. It remembers it from the last call. And that's basically it in a nutshell. You can add anything else to your knowledge base. For example, if you want to be able to provide instant quotes over the phone, you can give the receptionist instructions on how to do that. Or you could add a list of your service areas so that if someone calls in from a city you don't cover, the receptionist can let them know. You can make this as complex or as simple as you want. Now, there are some other features you may want to use. You could also set up the receptionist so that it sends a text message. For example, if you have a link on your site where someone could fill out information and get a quote, you could have the receptionist text them that link. You can also set up calls to be transferred to another number. All you need to do is click Add Transfer Rule, then put in the name of the person you want to transfer to, the conditions under which you want to transfer, and the hours during which you want to allow the transfer. But generally, what we've seen with other HVAC businesses is they want to send the on-call tech a text message instead. Here's how to do that. Click on notifications. Here you can add all the people you want to receive emails and text messages after calls. You can have as many people in here as you want. Click Add Person, type in the name of the on-call tech, then put in their phone number. You can flip the SMS switch to on if you want them to receive a text message for every call, or you can flip it to only if, and then type out the conditions like only send a text if the caller confirms it is an emergency and we have serviced their unit within the last 2 years. For example, you may have an office manager who you want to get an email about every single call. You can easily set that up. Just click Add Person again, put in the office manager's name, put in their email, and flip emails to on. Now let us show you something else. If you click on Settings, then Tags, you can create tags that your receptionist will automatically apply to calls. Why is this useful? Well, go to calls, and now you can see at a glance when something is an emergency versus when it's not. And this makes reporting a lot easier too. From the home screen, you can easily see within a given time period how many emergency versus non-emergency calls you got. You can add custom tags too, but this is just what we see others do. Now, you may be watching this and thinking, well, the thing is, my on-call schedule is pretty complicated and we have a rotation, so this would never work for me. Here's the really cool part. Up first is able to connect to other apps. What we recommend to businesses that have on-call schedules for technicians is to keep this information in a Google Sheet. Let me show you. Here's a template from another Up First customer. They split Sundays into AM and PM, and then Monday through Saturday, they have one person on call. We set up a system where Up First checks the spreadsheet, finds who's on call, and sends that person a text message with the caller's information if it's an emergency. This does require building some advanced flows using a third-party tool called Zapier. We have a step-by-step article that explains how to do this, which I'll link below. But if you're not someone who's tech savvy, don't worry. That's what we're here for. We've set this up for many businesses, and we can set it up for you too. Every HVAC business is unique. They handle things differently. That's why we have a team who will get on a call with you, understand your requirements, and build you something custom so that it works the way you expect. But for small operations, you could set things up yourself. Okay, now let's listen to what a call sounds like.
Thank you for reaching All Pro Heating and Cooling. You've reached our after-hours receptionist. Is this an emergency?
Yes, it is.
May I ask who I'm speaking with?
This is Kevin Malone.
Thanks, Kevin. Is the number you're calling from the best number to reach you at?
Yes, it is.
Have we serviced your unit in the last 2 years?
Yes.
Could you share the address where the emergency is happening?
It's 45 Gleewood Avenue, and that's Los Angeles, California.
Understood. Could you tell me a bit more about the emergency you're experiencing?
Basically, the HVAC is just not working at all. Our house is extremely hot right now.
I understand. We'll alert a technician and have someone call you back shortly. Is there anything else you need right now?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Thanks for calling. We'll be in touch soon.
So there you go. That's how you build an after-hours AI receptionist for your HVAC business. We covered after hours because that's what we most commonly see, but plenty of businesses use this 24/7. Some only have calls transferred to their front desk if it's an existing customer. Others use it for overflow. So if a call doesn't get answered, it goes to a friendly AI receptionist rather than voicemail. If you need any help, don't hesitate to reach out.